Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your night is going great. Mine is, and we have a really good video tonight. We're going to start off with the Overwatch World Cup and Dafran. It seems like Dafran knows why he ended up getting disqualified and didn't get the community lead for Denmark, so we're going to cover that whole situation. Then after that, it's the Overwatch World Cup again. It seems like Xqc actually has a really good chance of playing for Team Canada as the main tank. Jane, who was part of the Canadian World Cup team, he said it would be absolutely crazy to not have Xqc as your main tank. So we'll go ahead and play that clip and talk a little bit more about Xqc in the World Cup. And then after that, we are doing a playoff race breakdown. There are so many teams right now in the league who have a chance at making the playoffs and also have a chance at missing out. Like literally rank 2 all the way to rank 8. London Spitfire, Los Angeles Valiant, Boston Uprising, Los Angeles Gladiators, Philadelphia Fusion, Seoul Dynasty, and the Houston Outlaws all have chances to make the playoffs and have chances to miss out. So we're going to cover the standings in depth and see who I think will make it. As well as that, we'll take a look at stage 4 playoffs and see how much of a chance the Dallas Fuel have to make those. And that's going to be the video for today, guys. If you're new around here, do not forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy daily Overwatch League content, and enter the giveaway. It's very easy. I'm giving away 4 Overwatch League jerseys. Just click that gleam.io link down below. And now let's go ahead and get into it. So starting off with Dafran and all of this Overwatch World Cup drama. If you don't know exactly what's going on, be sure to go watch my video from yesterday talking about the Overwatch World Cup. Basically, Dafran, he won the Denmark community vote to be the lead for their World Cup team. And there was this girl who pretty much was bad-mouthing him and tweeting at Blizzard saying, oh, you can't let this guy win. Now, keep in mind, this girl was also running for community lead. And she was just straight up campaign smearing Dafran and trying to make sure that he didn't win and Blizzard wouldn't let him. So obviously, when Dafran ended up not getting community lead and she did, the community was pretty upset considering that he had way more votes than her and that she probably wouldn't even have won if Dafran wasn't running, because all those people who voted for Dafran could have voted for somebody else. So that's pretty much the summary of it, but I still recommend watching the whole video if you want to know all of the details and see what she said about him and what he said about her. Anyways, so Dafran turned his stream on today and this is what he had to say.
I know, dude, I know. Listen, I was never mad about this because I know. Listen, I know. Imagine if I was fucking Danish community fucking leader of Overwatch. My past, dude. I have been a fucking booster. I have thrown games. I have fucking been toxic. I have watched fucking hentai on stream.
Wait, sorry,
dude, I've done so many things, dude. Yeah, dude, it will be a joke. But dude, they shouldn't let me fucking run for it. Dude, I know, dude. Listen, I know. Come on, dude.
So to me in this video, it seems like Dafran has just basically accepted defeat, which honestly, that's kind of the best and most mature thing he can do at this point. It's not like there's any chance of Blizzard changing their mind and giving him the community lead. It's already set in stone. That girl is going to get it, and Dafran is not. And also, he is kind of right in this clip saying that he's messed up and done some really dumb things in his past, which is true. And the fact that Blizzard actually let him run is kind of nice of Blizzard. You know, they were willing to say, alright, you've made mistakes, but you've been improved lately, so here's your chance. And unfortunately, it seems like he actually blew that chance because of a mistake recently that he did. Well, I wouldn't even say mistake. He abused a bug in game. Let's just go ahead and roll this clip of Dafran pretty much just breaking the rules. Like, oh god, come on Dafran, come on.
Wait, who's that on Genji?
No, you're too far away.
Abusing mechanics! Abusing mechanics! Respawn faster! Get the fuck back in! Let's go, dude!
Oh, Dafran, aren't you just so funny, but so damn dumb? Like, he's just blatantly cheating on stream. Yeah, he's not actually hacking, but he's cheating the game by spawning faster. You gotta know doing this, there's going to be consequences. And he did end up getting banned for this. And we also made a video on Dafran getting banned a few days ago, and I guess this is what it was for. We thought it was for one trick in Torb at the time, but it seems like Dafran made a dumb mistake. I don't even know what he was thinking. This honestly actually reminds me of that time when Dante was playing Sombra, and he was literally just using his translocator to go through walls, like just blatantly breaking rules on stream. Like, what is wrong with you guys? Here, I'll go ahead and play a clip of that if you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Later, bitch.
3-1 in the room.
Oh god.
Oh my god. I mean, it's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the guy's teleporting through walls. Then McCree's like, what the hell just happened? But as a pro player, you know you can't be doing this stuff. The proper thing is to go to Blizzard and say, hey, look, I know of this glitch where you can teleport through the wall. Maybe you guys should take a look at it instead of abusing it in a ranked game. And yeah, Dante, if you are wondering, did end up getting banned on this account for, I think it was a week. Fortunately for him, it was a Smurf. But yeah, I just thought it'd be funny to show this. Anyways, let's go to move on from this entire situation. It seems like Dafran, there's no chance of him ever getting community lead, or at least for this year. Maybe there's some hope for the next ones, but he definitely would have to keep his act together. And let's just leave it at this, guys. So if you are, you know, harassing that girl, leave her alone. You know, it's not her fault that Dafran made these mistakes. Sure, the way maybe she handled it was a little messed up, but it is what it is. It's said and done. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, now let's go to move on and talk about Team Canada and Xqc. So Jane, who is the coach for Team Canada, he said this on stream about Xqc's chances of being the main tank.
Like, I don't know, this barring Blizzard legitimately just straight up banning Xqc from the World Cup, I don't think anyone would, and no one of sound mind would not put Xqc as the main tank for the Team Canada.
Wow, okay, so it seems like Xqc will be the main tank for Team Canada if he is not banned. And to be honest, the way Jane said that, it seems like, you know, why would Blizzard ban him? I mean, my personal opinion, I doubt Blizzard would ban him from the World Cup. Yeah, I get it. He got banned in the Overwatch League a couple times, once for a week. He got kicked off the Dallas Fuel, but there's no reason for them to ban him from the World Cup. He played last year and there was no problems with it. He was even the MVP. I mean, he wasn't the actual most valuable player at the event. In my opinion, it probably was like Flower or something, but still, you know, he did win the MVP. And that's exciting news. So looks like we'll probably be seeing Xqc for Team Canada. So we're not going to be able to see him compete in the Overwatch League, but we can still see him compete in the Overwatch World Cup. And that's basically it for this in the World Cup, guys. Let's go ahead and move on now and take a look at the standings. And currently, right now in the Overwatch League, Seoul Dynasty and Florida Mayhem are tied at 2-2. So I'm going to wait for this matchup to finish before we start talking about this. I don't want this video to be super outdated for Seoul Dynasty. And overall, this has been a really exciting match. I thought Florida Mayhem were going to take this without a doubt 2-0, but it seems like Seoul Dynasty, they're going for that reverse sweep, and we're heading into Nepal. So we'll see after this matchup, guys. Alright, so there it is, guys. The Seoul Dynasty defeat the Florida Mayhem in map 5, 2-1. It was extremely close, fun match to watch. Unfortunately, that last round was 100-0, but it is what it is. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings now. So the only team that is safe and secure is the New York Excelsior. They're set. London Spitfire, there is a chance they drop out. If they lose every single match, and we see the LA Gladiators, Philadelphia Fusion, Seoul Dynasty, Boston Uprising, LA Valiant, them all win their matches, they're out. It's definitely one of the least likely scenarios, and that goes for the Los Angeles Valiant too. So these two teams are more than likely safe, but there is danger. Worst case scenario, they're out. Then moving on to the Boston Uprising. 2-3 weeks ago, the Boston Uprising looked like they were set. They were sitting at rank 2 overall. Well, now they've lost 5 matches in a row. And if they keep losing, they're going to be out because look at the standings. They're only 1 match ahead of the 7th place ranked Philadelphia Fusion. So there is major danger for the Boston Uprising now. They must pick up 1 or 2 wins to guarantee that they are going to move forward. Luckily for them, looking at their schedule, they do play the Shanghai Dragons. They do play Florida Mayhem, 2 teams that they relatively have beaten overall throughout the season, no matter what. So Boston Uprising definitely need to pick up a win here. If they do not, then they're definitely at risk of not making the playoffs, guys. Because I don't know if 22 wins is going to be enough, because look at these next 3 teams behind them. Seoul Dynasty, LA Gladiators, Philadelphia Fusion. Relatively good teams. Philadelphia Fusion, they've won more than they've lost. LA Gladiators, they've won more than they lost. Even Seoul Dynasty has won more than they lost so far this stage. So if all of these teams win 2 more games and Boston Uprising doesn't win a game, They're going to be at 23. Boston Uprising is going to be at 22. They're out. So it's a close race for Boston Uprising right now. They must start winning out. Looking at Seoul Dynasty, LA Gladiators, Philadelphia Fusion now, these teams are neck and neck. And what I think is super exciting is these two teams right here, Seoul Dynasty and the LA Gladiators, they are going at it in the very last match of the Overwatch League. Well, it's not the last match, but it is on Friday, June 15th, and this could very well decide the winner, as well as this match with Philadelphia Fusion, London Spitfire. This can decide if Philadelphia Fusion moves on or not. Same with this match against Florida Mayhem. There's just so many exciting matches in this very last week that are going to determine who moves on, who doesn't move on. And right now, it's starting to look like San Francisco Shock and the Dallas Fuel are playing gatekeepers for a lot of these teams. So it's really cool seeing them improve near the end of the season. Even though they can't make it, they still are getting wins. Now, as for the Houston Outlaws, they are not dead and out yet. There still is a chance. It is the most grim one ever. They need Philadelphia Fusion to lose. They need 2 of these 3 teams to basically lose out. And then the Houston Outlaws themselves needs to win out. If the Houston Outlaws somehow wins their next 5 matches, they'll be sitting at 24-16. Now, it's highly unlikely, but if they do, 24-16 is a decent record to move on. They're taking on the Florida Mayhem tomorrow. Then they have the Dallas Fuel, LA Valiant, Philadelphia Fusion, New York Excelsior. The match they will lose is the New York Excelsior match. So let's say they win 4 of the next 5. Houston Outlaws, they'll be sitting at 23-17. That's not a bad record. That is possibly enough to move forward, even if the Boston Uprising lose out. And if some of these teams only win 2 matches, it could come down to a tiebreaker between the maps. So Houston Outlaws is not out, but they must win their matches. They have to. And I don't know if that's possible for them. Now, looking at Philadelphia Fusion, LA Gladiators, and Seoul Dynasty, they are currently tied. So whoever wins more matches than the other teams moves on. So let's go ahead and look at their schedules real quick and see who has the easiest one. Looking at the LA Gladiators, it's rough. New York Excelsior, London Spitfire, Seoul Dynasty, those are relatively hard teams. They've beaten them in the past, especially the London Spitfire, but London Spitfire is looking really good right now. Birdring, he's playing out of his mind, so they could be a huge challenge for the LA Gladiators. I would rate this schedule, since they do have New York Excelsior, this is probably, out of a scale of 1 to 10 hardness, I'd say 7 or 7.5. Then moving on to the Philadelphia Fusion, they have the San Francisco Shock, Seoul Dynasty, Houston Outlaws, and London Spitfire. This is another relatively hard schedule. I mean, London Spitfire, they're pretty good. Every time Houston Outlaws and Philadelphia Fusion go up against each other, it's a game 5. Yeah, Philadelphia Fusion has won every single time, but there's a chance they could lose this. Looking at their match against San Francisco Shock, San Francisco's looking great this stage. They've picked up wins against some pretty good teams. They did lose to the LA Gladiators, but so did Philadelphia Fusion. And then this match right here, Friday, June 8th, Seoul Dynasty, Philadelphia Fusion. This one is going to be a big one. It will determine which team goes ahead of the other one in the standings. Rating this out of a scale of 1 to 10 of hardness, I'd say it's either a 6.5 or 7. Slightly easier than the LA Gladiators because they don't have New York Excelsior, which is a guaranteed loss. These are all winnable games for Philly, but they'll probably lose 1. Then moving on to the Seoul Dynasty, looking at their schedule, they have the Boston Uprising, Philadelphia Fusion, Dallas Fuel, and LA Gladiators. I'd say relatively decent. Boston Uprising, they've looked really bad so far. Probably an easier match there. Then they have the Philadelphia Fusion and the LA Gladiators coming up. Now, these are huge matches. Seoul Dynasty, it's in their hands. If they win these matches, they are moving forward 100%. So Seoul Dynasty have big matches coming up. They have Dallas Fuel, who are playing spoiler, comparable to the San Francisco Shock. I'd say Seoul Dynasty overall does have an easier schedule, though. Boston Uprising, Dallas Fuel, yeah, Dallas Fuel is improved, but they did lose the San Francisco Shock, so I think Seoul Dynasty has a decent chance at winning this. I'd say their overall schedule is a 6, 6.5 when it comes to toughness. These 2 matches are huge, though, so we'll see. I don't know which team's going to make it, guys. It's super close. Seoul Dynasty, they looked pretty bad against the Florida Mayhem today. LA Gladiators, Philadelphia Fusion, overall they've looked really good. But LA Gladiators did take a bad loss against the LA Valiant earlier on this week. And the Philadelphia Fusion, they took a bad loss against the LA Gladiators. So it seems like Gladiators have the edge over Fusion. But we don't know where Seoul Dynasty is sitting. It's going to be crazy, guys. I can't wait to see these matches. Now, real quick, let's look at the Stage 4 playoffs. Dallas Fuel are sitting at 3-2-5, currently tied with a whole bunch of teams. San Francisco Shock, Houston Outlaws, London Spitfire. So this is kind of up for grabs, this 4th spot. It depends which one of these 4 teams start winning out for the rest of the season. I mean, even Philadelphia Fusion can creep up and get this spot. As for the top 3, these guys are pretty much guaranteed to make the stage playoffs. So we'll see, guys. Even for these Stage 4 playoffs, everything is up in the air. I have no idea who's going to make it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, guys, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to my channel for more daily content, and I'm out of here, guys. Peace.